What's up everyone, Rankeds Clips here once again, bringing you another review, this time featuring Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void is the third and final installment in this mega saga from Blizzard Entertainment. It's a great and complex RTS. As always, it feels like it's got a great balance. The mission playout feels pretty great, even though it's kind of repetitive at times. It brings the multiplayer back to its former glory, and it just has an overall epic feeling, especially in the cinematics. Alright, so let's break this game down.
I know all their stories.
So the storyline. The story of Starcraft 2 follows up with the story from the previous games with Raynor and Kerrigan. This time around, it's more about the overall arc, the whole good and evil thing. There's a great menace to the universe, and you as Artanis are in charge of bringing this bad, big thing down. Now you as Artanis bore the Great Spear of Adun and set out in this massive spaceship to save the universe. I think I've heard that somewhere else. Yep, that's one of the problems from this story. It's kinda cliche compared to the other ones. In Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, the story was way more complex. Raynor and Kerrigan had a great personal story, and it wasn't just this one character trying to do great for mankind. Or in this case, the Protoss. It's kinda hard to create some empathy with Artanis just because he's the typical I'm the great justice guy who will do the greatest thing ever for everyone.
With this vessel, we will avenge what has transpired, Karax, and we will free the Templar.
Now one thing though, the story for me wrapped up really nicely. It feels like there's no loose ends and everything is solved once and for all. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anyone, but as someone who's been following the story from the beginning, no spoils. Sorry. Just play it out and you'll see. Now if you ever feel like the story's cliche though, there are some amazing cinematics, as always Blizzard bringing the heat. They just blow me away every single time. I was literally glued to the screen watching these amazing clips, which even though they're filled with cliche dialogue, just mute it and watch it. The graphics and presentation. There's not really much to say about the graphics. It's got the same look it's had for 5 years, it still looks great though. It's a solid game graphics wise, it's got great physics, the units look pretty cool, and all the visual effects really do capture the essence of Starcraft. I really enjoyed the interface of this game like the ones before. The fact that everything's included with the Spear of Adun as an interface just makes you more immersed in the game. Everything is well organized, and everything is explained with conversations with the ship crew or with little bits of story.
Come, let me show you what may be done here.
So nothing feels like a tutorial, everything is in the world of Starcraft. You heard how great that sounds? World of Starcraft? Now the gameplay. As always, this game has a nice and challenging learning curve, especially for the newcomers. If you want to get into Starcraft and just mash out units and mash buttons and expect everything to blow up and watch some great visual effects, don't. That's one thing I really enjoy about this game. It's got a fast pace, you gotta be fast at making decisions, there's no time to breathe. Especially not in the multiplayer, but we'll get to that later. Let's talk about the campaign a little bit. The campaign features some nice variety in the playstyle of each mission. Some of the missions are MOBA inspired when you get to control a couple of heroes, while other missions will add some small mechanical changes like low resources, so you have to adapt to the situation. It does get repetitive from time to time, but nothing that really ruins it for me. You get secondary objectives in each mission, and you always feel like you want to do them, and not just because of the challenge, but also because they give you Solarite, which is a resource used to upgrade your stuff. I also like the way you can change up your playstyle. You get to choose different units and different abilities according to the way you want to play the game. This also comes in handy because in higher difficulties, you're gonna want to change up your army composition. So you'll be able to experiment around and see what best fits you. You also have a co-op mode. It's got great mission design and some unique heroes for each of the 3 different races. The co-op mode is exactly what I feel like every co-op mode should be. It's challenging and it's fun. Now the multiplayer. Bear in mind, I suck at this game to be honest, and that's why I like the multiplayer changes in Legacy of the Void. First of all, you get some tutorials for the real newcomers who have never tried the game, so you get to learn the real basics. Then there's 2 things you can do. You can jump into multiplayer and get your head bashed in by pretty much everyone, or you can try the new Archon mode. Now this is a way to ease in people into the competitive multiplayer. Basically in Archon you get to divide the controls of your base and army with a friend or a stranger online. That sounded really weird. Which should, in theory, make you learn from another player, especially because you want to play with more experienced ones. Now I haven't fully tested out the multiplayer yet, especially because I suck at it and most of the time I'm just raging. Most likely we'll be releasing a video just on the multiplayer, but for now I can say it feels really great, it feels fast paced, and it's just nice to get a way to actually go slowly into the scene. It definitely feels like casual players have a place in multiplayer now. A very small and sad place, but it's there. Alright, so let's go to what matters. The ranking. The real only major flaw of this game is the cliche-filled storyline, and the Protoss being dumbed down to use lines from every single fantasy movie you've watched from Hollywood. Besides that, for me, it feels like the best game from the Starcraft 2 saga. All the modes are super fun, it's fast-paced and always challenging, and overall I would say it's a great way to wrap up Starcraft, both in the story and in its playstyle. Starcraft 2 gets a general ranking, and I would say this game truly is a general, especially in a time where it feels like RTSs have been forgotten. Once again guys, thanks for watching, keep following us on YouTube and Facebook, there's a lot more awesome content coming at your way. Clips, signing out.